Good morning. I'm Mitchell Englander, Chair of the Public Safety Committee. Welcome you to the Public Safety Committee this morning. Today is Tuesday, August 16th. We do not yet have a quorum. Not sure if we will yet have a quorum today or not. We may not, and therefore, without a quorum, the public comment is not satisfied, and those items would be moved to council without public comment. Therefore, we would actually not take the cards that were submitted for public comment, but we will note and file that they were here and received, including general public comment. So for those who have filled out cards and were here for public comment without a quorum, we wouldn't be taking those unless there's one or two we'd want to take. Item 4 is going to be continued for those who came on item 4. It's going to be continued until Ms. Nuri Martinez actually, if and when she makes it to committee. Today is the first day of school for LAUSD, so some of the committee members who have little ones are also wanting to drive their kids to school on the first day. And as a father, I completely appreciate that. I barely remember my kids being of age to where they're not driving themselves. So anyway, with that, wanted to let those who are here know. Excuse me, Mr. Spindler, you're disrupting the meeting by standing up and talking, so please have a seat if you're going to stick around. Your cards are going to be filed since we don't have a quorum at this point. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wait for a few minutes and see if we get some of the members here or not. So we'll hold off on going through the agenda for now. So while we're still not going through the agenda, we're still actually in live committee. And so if I can ask you to keep your voices just down a little bit, appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, these are the items we're going to go ahead and move on consent as a communication from the chair. So for those of you who are here on these items, they could be recalled if and when we get a quorum and we don't call the meeting. But at this point, I believe we'll end up moving on consent items 3. Well, I'm going to do them now anyway, unless we recall them. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll ask for the city attorney to draft the new code and bring it back. And item 13 as well. So if you're here on those items from staff and/or cards, we're going to move those on consent, and we'll hear items 1, 2, and 4. All right. Morning. No, we're good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue the agenda. We've got a quorum now, and so we'll reconsider all the items. And I want to thank Council Members Bonin and O'Farrell for being here as well. Good morning to you both. Good morning. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we'll open it up for public comment, so we can satisfy that first. We'll take all items for public comment together for a total of 5 minutes, 1 minute per item maximum, but 5 minutes maximum for public comment on the agenda items. And Wayne, you have cards on 1, 2, 11, and 13. And so please stick to those agenda items.
Okay.
Specifically, 1 minute per item.
Okay.
Oh, and item 4. So however you want to, but a maximum of 1 per.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Now, let's talk about bicycle traffic school. Little kids ride bikes. You do not need a license to travel on a bicycle. Why do we have moving violations for bicycles? This is preposterous. Once you learn how to ride a bicycle, it's easy. So why are we writing tickets for bicycles? Please exempt all bicycle riders from tickets to encourage people to ride bikes. Also, according to my legal team, the Pepita Pig legal team, you are renting bicycles out on Metro without a helmet. Thus, you are constructively conspiring to violate state law requiring a helmet, so the next time somebody falls off the bike, the
Next item,
city
please.
is
That was 1
liable.
minute. Next item, please.
Oh, all right.
Which is it? Okay.
Then we get to this revolving training fund. We have to train officers to train them to do what? We need to do more training on the knock and announce rule. So let's see here. Yes?
We're here to execute a search warrant.
You cannot come in. You need a search warrant. You need to be trained.
We're from the Threat Management Unit.
No, you need a warrant. And the next thing you know, boom, they just come in your backyard with senior detectives and arrest. This is not good training. Please completely retrain all detectives and officers working out of the Threat Management Unit, because there's a thing called the United States Constitution and California law, which you are conspiring to violate. So please note that. Next, we get to the sauna amenities. Men and women using the sauna at the same time, getting all hot in there. I think that will lead to sexual harassment lawsuits. That's right, because you put men and the women, with certain exceptions in the committee, but you could put men with men, but let's say men with women. You have to stay on the fucking topic. Men with women could lead to sexual harassment in such close quarters. So, yes, under Title 7 and Title 8, you need separate but equal sauna amenities for the female and the male cadets. So you'll have to build two. That's so good. One over here for the males and one over here for the girls. On the other hand, you raises a problem for the transgender community. What if Mr. Bull, for example, wants to decide to be a woman? Then men can use the women's facility. This is too complicated for a pig like me. The only thing I can do is say...
You're not on the topic.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to say it's very complicated. Next, parking occupancy tax, exempting the operators operating their customers to pay with credit card from parking operator bond requirement. Well, anytime you exempt somebody, ask yourself the question, who are the campaign donors? Because the campaign donors are going to be the one to get the exemption. Yes, and now that leads us to public comment. There's a lawsuit being fired by Mr. Fannery, used to be the security chief for the DWP. He filed a whistleblower retaliation labor code lawsuit in the Superior Court. For all of you with the badge, JasmineOnline.com, Jasmine Canick will tell you about your department and all of the interesting trash going on, including people using cars at strip clubs and having them towed claiming they were stolen. Imagine being busted while being paid to go to a strip club, and then you find your car there and you report it stolen. It's called a false police report. You will pay this man millions of dollars. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, you have 1 more minute for general public comment of issues pertaining to this committee only. Thank you.
Okay, now we get to more dirt. JasmineCanicOnline.com. JasmineCanicOnline.com.
You're not on issues under this committee's purview.
But it's talking
General public comment under issues pertaining to this committee.
public safety issues, reporting about the inside problems of the LAPD. That's on the topic. And it's also on the topic that there are whistleblower retaliation lawsuits everywhere because people can't work in the department if they report violations of state and federal law. So remember, if you want to be promoted in the LAPD right now, you cannot whistleblow. But that will change soon. So remember, make your choice. Good cop, bad cop. Good cop, or is it the bad cop? 99% are good cops. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to go ahead and look at items for consent and reconsider those now that we have a quorum. Colleagues, I'd suggest items 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then we'll go ahead and hear items 1, 2, and 4. No objection. Without objection, that'll be the order. Okay, so all of those are approved. We have one additional card on item 4. We can go ahead. We're waiting right now on that, so we're holding on that. But we can go ahead and take public comment from Sharon. Sharon still here? Buckman? No longer here. Okay, we'll go ahead and file your card then. And with that, let's go ahead and hear item 1.
Item number 1 is a motion from Council Members Weezer and Bonin relative to the establishment of a bicycle traffic safety program, traffic school program that would remove or reduce moving violation fines for bicyclists.
Good morning, Jennifer Cohen from LADOT.
Lieutenant Dave Ferry, LAPD.
As you know, our departments are working very closely on some transportation safety initiatives focusing on Vision Zero. This is very much in keeping with that, and we really appreciate the recognition of the importance of this. And we plan to work together to develop an effective program that supports Vision Zero and also supports cycling.
And I understand the department is also wanting to come back and continue this with a full report. And I'm okay with that. What is the current status of this NT committee?
We're waiting for the full report, then we're going to schedule the committee as well.
Okay. So we can do that. We can wait. And it should probably be heard in T committee first, I would think.
Okay.
So that's fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. So we'll continue it then and hear it back here after T committee. Okay. And then on item 2, you want to report on item 2?
I'm still Jennifer Cohen with LADOT. I'm still joined by...
Haven't changed a bit.
Lieutenant Dave Ferry, LAPD.
You haven't aged.
Thank you.
30 seconds. All right.
I want to thank the committee again, especially the chair, for introducing this really important motion to talk about the role of speed in traffic safety. This is essential for Vision Zero as well. The police department did a phenomenal presentation about the role of speed and how the enforcement process works. That was in T committee in June. I think most everyone had an opportunity to see that, but we would love to come and do more of them.
I'd like one here as well. So I know you're not prepared to do that today. So what I'd like to do is schedule that here for the next committee meeting. And then I'd like to ask for a couple report backs as well with that in the next 2 weeks if we could. And that is how many streets are actually, well, let's take a step back. First, if you can report back and give us a report on exactly what the enforcement laws are in terms of radar and laser and calibrating the streets and speed. So what are the state laws and our constraints? So that's the first thing. And I'll keep it pretty light and tight, so it's not going to, we can actually come back in 2 weeks. We don't have to have a 100-page report back, but these are things that should be readily available already. So the current law. The second thing is how many streets are out of policy and have not been calibrated or speed checked. So how many of those are expired? How many are coming due to expire? So we can get a report on that. I know, again, I've seen some of these numbers already, so I know the departments already have them. I just want to bring them into light and have some dialogue and conversation about it. So how many are actually out of policy? And then how many are about to expire? Which ones are coming due? So those 3 categories. And then I'd also ask that we bring back an LAPD. I understand the Vision Zero PowerPoint, which I'm asking for a full presentation on in this committee, was prepared by LADOT.
It was really a combined effort.
And I understand also there may be one available with just DOT or traffic to talk about more about the enforcement elements and what tools we have.
We'll get 2 PowerPoints. One's a overview of Vision Zero, and then one is very specific to speed surveys.
Okay, so I'd like to bring them both. Sure. So go have both of them. I realize it's going to be a long conversation, and ready for that as well.
Mr. Chair, if I may suggest also a report back on staffing and resources needed to complete the speed surveys.
Sure. Yeah.
That'll be an important element.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I think we need to have that conversation, and in context of, it's one thing to complete the survey. It's another, what does a complete survey mean? So staff might be doing the surveys, but then if we don't act on them or there's no action taken and they expire, then they're not any good. So I want to get my arms around that. And then also, it may lead us into a conversation, because one of my thoughts, and I'll just put it out there now, is to even have a pilot program, and I'd be willing to have it in my district, to say here are some of the streets that are either pending and or are ready or are about to expire. And with the expiration, obviously there's some that can be renewed, and they can only be renewed for so long. I'm not going to get into that detail now. I'm assuming you'll get into that detail with the report back. And perhaps even doing a pilot to say, okay, we've gotten a few that are either near expiration or have already been surveyed, and what can we do to move those along to see, and then measure them. Like, are they really having an effect on speed and or enforcement and or accidents to meet the objections and the objectives of Vision Zero as well? And so we'll have that conversation, and hopefully we'll see where that leads us. But I'm just letting you know my thoughts on it in advance and where I'm trying to go with this. Maybe that's helpful in framing all of that. And if that's okay, we'll go ahead and have that. Is 2 weeks reasonable to put that information together? Because I think most of it's probably already together, I'm assuming already.
I think we can.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go have that at the next Public Safety Committee meeting. whenever that is, if it's in 2 weeks or whenever we schedule that. Okay. Any other reports on that? Nope. And then with that, it is 20 after now. Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and continue item 1. We will continue item 2 to come back with those specific reports as outlined by the committee, and those recommendations and report backs are approved unanimously without objection. And item 4, can we move that to council, or should we hold that here, Harry? I know that Ms. Martinez wants to hear it here. You want to report back with her? Okay, that's fine. Why don't we do this? Why don't we hear this now and ask for a report back so we don't drag it through? We're going to need LAPRAC to report back on item 4 anyway, and so we can hear that when they're ready to present on what options they might have for equivalent amenities at the academy. And I believe that's what Ms. Martinez was going to be asking anyway. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Move that item to come back here with a report back from LAPRAC. You'll let us know when it's ready on what they can do with the existing structures to have the amenities for both the male and female recruits and officers at their facilities. What restraints do they have? What constraints and what options are available? And then we can have the full discussion. And so we'll go ahead and move it with that report back. Then we can have the discussion. So we won't hold it up. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that.
So you would like, just for clarification, you would like that to be moved to council or to be continued here with the report back?
Continued here with the report back,
Thank you.
rather than continue it and then ask for the report back. So that's coming anyway. Okay. So I believe that concludes the agenda, and we are adjourned. Thank you.